Hey folks, welcome to another episode here on the Mr. Analyst channel. Of course, my name is Leighton Levy. Of course, thanks again for joining us, and please remember to subscribe to the channel, like and share our content. And of course, today, a very special guest. Jamaica is known for its sprints, 100, 200, 400. We have world records in both the 100 and 200. And we've had outstanding performances in the 400 meters, including the 2023 world champion, Antonia Watson, who won in Budapest. But today we're talking about somebody who has done something that no other Jamaican has ever done, period. And that's run a 2 hours, 35.28 second time in a marathon. We're talking about Mika Hyde, who is, the word is that she's broken a national record that was set by Jill Vinton's 3:08:47 back in 2000. But based on my information, Jill is actually an American, so they don't know how that becomes a Jamaican record. But let's move on. Mika, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the performance. First of all, before you even begin to talk about the marathon run, because 2:35 in any context is an outstanding time. I looked at your World Athletics profile. You've run the 100, you've run the 200, you run the 400, you run the 400-meter hurdles. You were the 2018 corporate era champion in the 400-meter hurdles. You ran the 400-meter hurdles for George Mason 4x4, so George Mason University. How in God's name did you end up running a marathon? And of course, running a marathon suggests that some work would have gone into preparing for that event. So let's start there. Why is a marathon?
Okay, so after I graduated undergrad, I just wanted something else that felt as fulfilling as track. So I thought that distance running would be a good outlet for that because you can do it as a hobby. There's lots of 5 and other stuff that normal people do non-competitively. So I thought that would be a good way for me to find something else other than track that would feel as fulfilling. So starting in May of 2024, that's when I kind of started doing distance running. I entered a 5K in Jamaica, the best just chicken 5K, and I won that 5K. So I was like, I do have some potential in the longer events. And as time went on, I got faster in the 5K, and then I was like, I do want to explore other options in longer distances. I did do a half marathon last December, so based on that, I was like, I do have lots of potential in long distances. So eventually I entered the Philadelphia Marathon. I signed up for the Philadelphia Marathon and I started a 20-week training block for that race. And that's really how I built up to becoming a 2:35 marathoner.
Wow, listen, a lot of Jamaicans, I've done 5Ks. A lot of Jamaicans are into recreational distance running, 5Ks, 10Ks, sometimes even half marathons. But this is a whole different dynamic altogether. Tell me a little bit about the preparation. You mentioned a 20-week block. Talk to me a little bit about what that block involved. Obviously it had to involve lots of distances, lots of road running. Talk to me about the balance between work and finding the time to be able to do that.
Okay, so I'd say I started the block during summer, during June. So I started off running at about 90 miles per week and I built up to 100 miles per week. So how I would structure my days, 3 days a week, I would do doubles. So that would involve like a 13-mile run in the morning and a 6-mile run in the evening after work. And I would wake up at about 4:30 or 5 to get that done. And then I would do my evening run about 6 p.m. And then I will also do a few workouts, interval workouts, long run workouts. I had a group training with as well, so I would do that twice a week with that group. And that's really how I structured my training.
But when you ran that time though, 2:35 in any context, as I mentioned before, 2 hours anything in the marathon is significant. It's ranked. The ranking is what, 500, I think, in the world. The thing is that there are still, people might look at it and say 500, yeah, but it's still among the 500 best runners in the world of a population of track and field people or road running people of tens of thousands of people. Did you have a target in mind when you started this event about what you wanted to accomplish, given that the previous record, 3:08 was, it's there. But as I mentioned before, there's an argument that Jill Vincent wasn't even Jamaican, so they don't know how that record became a Jamaican record. But give me a sense of what your thinking was in terms of what your target was for this event.
So in August, I set a goal of 250. I did think that was like a reach goal, but I said if I continue training consistently, then I'll be able to get it. And as my training block went on, I started doing better in workouts. I did a few 5Ks and other road races, and I was like, I'm really doing good. So I lowered my goal to 240. And it really felt scary to say before the race, even the day before the race, when I was telling everyone what's my goal time. It did feel scary to say out loud, but clearly it was a good goal for me to set, and I ran much faster than that. So yes.
What did it feel like during the race, though? I mean, I've never run anything beyond a 5K. In fact, I walk a 5K because I have a bad right knee. But give me a sense of what it feels like to run at 226.2 miles nonstop at a particular pace that gives you an opportunity to run as fast as you have.
Okay, so I'd say it was very mentally challenging. So at the start, of course, I felt good, but I had to remember to keep control. And then in the middle of the race, there was lots of hills. So that kind of kept my mind occupied because I was just focusing on getting up the hills, getting down the hills. And as it came towards the end of the race at mile 19, I actually had some stomach trouble. So at that point, that's when it really became tough. And I just had to focus and trust that I had the strength to continue running because I knew that I put in a lot of work for this race. So I wanted to do the best that I could. So I'd say it's way more mentally taxing than anything else I've done, but it was really worth it.
Okay, clearly, the worth it is almost an understatement that you have done something so remarkable. But given the breakthrough, and I call it a breakthrough because you set yourself particular targets and you've achieved them, you've exceeded them. Is this something you're thinking long term, maybe representing Jamaica at the World Championships or an Olympic Games in the marathon? Is that something that's a longer term goal for you?
Yes, so definitely I want to continue doing this for as long as possible. So I want to achieve as much as I can. So yes, definitely world championships and Olympics are now on my mind for the marathon, and I just want to continue to train and improve across that distance.
Well, incredible. So yeah, so you got to 235. But you obviously have a lot of work left to do to get those extra minutes down to within the top 10, 15, even 20 times in the world. Well, let's say top 30 times in the world, because I think the quotas allow you that amount of leeway. Give me a sense of now that you've accomplished that. What are you thinking in terms of what you need to work on to improve? Does it mean more than 100 miles a week? Maybe some additional gym work to get stronger, core work. Give me a sense of the weaknesses within your race that were exposed while running this marathon.
Okay, so I think there's lots of stuff that I need to improve. I think the number one thing on my mind right now is recovery. How am I going to be able to train harder and recover better? So definitely sleep, nutrition, maybe getting frequent treatments with a physio. Those stuff might be things that would significantly increase my time. Also, in terms of the race, I did have stomach problems at mile 19, so I need to look into how I'm practicing my fueling and drinking before the race so that that won't happen to me again. And then I'm also looking into being able to enter more competitive races. So right now I'm mostly racing in my area, and sometimes I win this races by a significant margin. So if I'm able to have more competitive races and work with others more, then that might help me as well.
Mm. Um, Based on my little research on you, you have a degree in biochemistry or bioengineering, biology engineering. Tell me what it is.
Okay, so I have a bachelor's degree in bioengineering and I'm
Yeah.
currently doing a master's in biomedical engineering. So with that is like a wide engineering field. So you mostly work on how can you improve medical devices, how can you work with creating treatments for different medical problems. So it's a wide engineering area. It involves different portions of engineering, different electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and there's lots of opportunities in the area.
Mhm. Well, obviously, yeah, because I'm familiar with the field, but I'm not. I didn't remember quite what that specific field was. Tell me, when you were at St. Andrew High, was this your dream? I mean, I'm not talking about the marathon. No, I'm talking about bioengineering. Was this what you always aspired to when you were at St. Andrew High?
Okay, so I actually did want to become a dentist in high school. And then once I realized I was going to the US, in the US, you would have to do 4 years of undergrad and then 4 years of dentistry school. So I was like, I want to choose a degree that even if I decide not to go to dentistry school, it would be good to settle on. And I just chose engineering because I loved math, and then biomedical engineering because I also loved biology, chemistry. I just love sciences, so I figured it would be a good degree for me.
So here's my next trick question. Does it help with your preparation, given the fact that I mean, engineering revolves around, of course, mechanics, movement, all that kind of things that, in terms of efficiencies, in terms of, how different forces work on your body. Does that help with your training any at all?
I would say that because I like to learn, then it does help me because in running, it's good to learn about like what you are doing rather than only relying on someone else. So definitely when I started running, I definitely became a student of the sport. So the fact that I love to learn is one thing that really helps me. Also in class, I learn a lot about the human body. So that also helped me as well.
Mm. So talk to me now. What's the plans now? What's the next plans? I mean, obviously, you're saying you're going to try to get more marathon running in. You already begun to set a schedule for like what events you're targeting in the coming year or during the season, because track season effectively starts now. Do you see yourself setting particular goals, maybe 2 marathons a year? What number are you thinking about that you think will have help you to get to? I mean, the next World Championships is 2027, so you technically have a year and a half before Beijing, and then of course LA 2028. Are you targeting those particular events because you're 24 now? Um, Give me a sense of how you structure your competitions now over the next year and a half, 2 years, to then wear the green, black, and gold in LA 2028 and before that in Beijing.
So going into the first half of next year, I'm going to be focusing on some shorter distances, so 5K, 10K, 15K, and try to lower my PR in those distances. Try to learn how to race those distances better because distance running is also a learning process for me since it's new to me. So I feel
Uh-huh.
like learning how to race those shorter distances will also help me in the longer distances, learning how to pace, etc. And then going into next fall, so like November and December, then that's when I would want to enter my next marathon and be as prepared as possible for that one.
Okay, and of course you have to do some strength work as well because you need to be strong and flexible for this kind of. Just thinking about it makes me fatigued. So I know, so I know how
Yes.
difficult it can be. So that aside, though, what are you? I mean, Christmas is coming up. What are you planning to do for Christmas? Are you coming back to Jamaica for Christmas? Or are you staying in the United States?
Yes, I'll be coming back to Jamaica for Christmas. And yes, so that's going to be a good opportunity for training for me because there's more opportunities to run on the hill since I live in Florida. So I'm really looking forward to that kind of hill training block for me.
All right, cool. Have you spoken to anybody from the J3s about your intentions are?
I haven't spoken to anyone from J3.
Okay, well, we'll see. Hopefully that will happen soon, and then they can have that, because then we'll be doing crazy things. We've been doing crazy things in bobsled. We've been doing crazy things in basketball. We're doing crazy things everywhere, and of course in the sport of our choice, track and field. So you'll be breaking new ground for Jamaican marathon runners. We've seen Navaski Anderson set a new national record in the 800 1:42.7 at the World Championships. You could be one who sets the new trail for marathon runners in Jamaica. So congratulations on that, Mika Hyde. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, wishing you all the best health and strength and have a wonderful Christmas holidays. And of course, hopefully when you come to Jamaica, you get an opportunity to maybe talk in person.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak here. And I definitely love that I can be a trailblazer for a marathon in Jamaica.
All right. Thank you so much. Of course, remember, guys, to subscribe to the channel, like and share our content. And of course, we've been having much more for you coming up in the coming weeks here on the Mr. Analyst channel. And of course, this is Leighton signing out for now, saying goodbye.